The very first dog bite is this. Who is going to be the biggest bust in this class? I'm going to start.
Do we all get to go?
Yes. Yes. This is an all participant question.
See, I feel like we could start talking, scenarios, but this might be a better question for the mini segment we do post draft once we know where they land. Because if Sanders goes top 3, I'm picking Sanders.
Well, I'm picking Sanders. I don't care where he goes, and the only reason I say that, poor guy. I don't. That's not a personal affront to him. He's got the most famous father in college football. I know that he shares some of the same primetime genetics, and he wants to get out there and promote, and he wants to be bigger than the sport. And I'm not saying that is a bad thing. But there's so much hype around him right now. Oh, he's the best quarterback in the draft. Well, maybe he's not the best. He's the third best. Well, there's so much noise going on around this guy right now that I don't see it. I don't see it. You threw the ball well. He wasn't a bad quarterback in college, but he played in the Big 12. He didn't face anywhere near the type of defenses that he's going to face. He came out of Jackson State to Colorado, and those were the type of defenses that he was facing as a quarterback. And now we're going to project that he's going to be just something super special in the NFL. I think that regardless, and this doesn't mean that he would be a bad quarterback in the NFL. I just feel like he's coming in with way too much hype behind him right now, having never played a down of professional football.
I like that. I have 2 names that are just screaming out to me on my top 10 list, and I'm going to go with the top 10 guy if we're talking bust, right? This is going to be tough to say because I'm not very confident in this. Because I like this class a lot. Abdul Carter played his first year of defensive end last year. What if? What if it doesn't pan out? That's kind of the name that screams at me now. Do I think that's going to happen? No. But I do think, if he's not an all-pro caliber guy, then that's a bust because he's going top 3, right? Or hypothetically. And then, if we want to go a little bit deeper into the draft, I'm not super, I will, I was a little biased earlier. I'll be anti-biased now. I think Mykel Williams might not be that guy. There's a chance.
Wow.
We'll see. Hey, we crossed paths one time. I said hello. He didn't say hey back. So this is my get back. There we go.
There you go. There you go.
All right.
Pays to say hello.
Yeah. And now you're not, on my show as a non-bustable player. Now he's going to be a bust. Yeah.
There you go.
See, my bust is kind of similar to the Chickens.
Right.
This guy also came from Jackson State. He also went to go play for Colorado, but I think it could be Travis Hunter. I do. And here's my reasoning is because I think that I think that he's going to struggle finding his place going to a team that's going to only want to use him primarily on one position of the ball. And I think that his ego, and he rightfully so has an ego, I do think he was one of the best college football players. I was glad that he won the Heisman. It could have been him or Genty. There's no doubt about that. And when he won, I was like, good job. That was a good pick. And he deserved it. He was a stud, both sides of the ball. But I think he's going to struggle with that. And I think there's too much hype around Travis Hunter. And I think he will be an NFL bust.
What's a bust for him, though?
I don't think that we will be saying Travis Hunter's name in 3 or 4 years as being a top guy in the NFL. I don't.
Man.
I don't. Because I don't think he has a true identity. That's what I'm saying. That's what I think his problem is. He doesn't have a true identity, whether he's a defensive guy or an offensive guy. Deion Sanders had a true identity. He was a defensive guy. No doubt about it. That was his primary. Offense, they threw him in there because of his speed, and he did have good hands, but he was not a receiver. If he'd have went in the league just as a receiver, would he have been a a top 5 receiver in the league every year? No, he would not have.
No.
But they liked him for his speed. The only person that I think that we've ever had the privilege, and unfortunately we didn't get to see him, is to really be a stud on both ends of the ball, would have been a stud in pro, or could have played both sides. I mean, the best athletic person to ever play the game was probably Bo Jackson. And I mean, just an all-around incredible athlete. Travis Hunter is no Bo Jackson. Travis Hunter, I think, has an identity crisis on his hands, whether what position he wants to play. That's my take.
I think that Travis Hunter stands a better chance of not being a bust because, like Dion, he's a multi-tool guy. If he can't find his way on the defensive side of the ball, he's still got offense. If he can't find his way on the offensive side of the ball or the defensive side of the ball, I see him as a threat in the return game somehow.
Look at Devin Hester.
Similar. I don't know if he's as fast as a Devin Hester. Certainly not as fast, I don't think, as Dion was. But, that was another tool that Dion brought to the game as well, was his ability as a returner. Mm-hmm. So I see Travis as having just more than one tool in his attack to the game of professional football. Something else that he can go to and say, well, maybe I can do this, maybe I can do that. That'll just at least prevent him from being a bust. Again, the reason I think that Shedeur, for me, is that bust is because I don't think he'll ever be able to live up to the hype. Even if he's a good quarterback, even if he has a few years of success, maybe even gets his team to the playoffs once or twice, I still don't think that he's going to be able to live up to the hype, and he is a one-tool guy.
That's a good take.
It's my take. Of course it is.
If you pick a punt returner at number 2, number 3 overall, it's a bust for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I definitely see your point. I think, we touched on this a little bit already, but I think he's going to be a good player. I think the best thing for him is to commit to receiver, though.
I agree.
Oh, I do too. I think his best Travis Hunter's best move is to go the receiver route. Stick with that. Become an expert in that. Because yes, although he's a great receiver, he was a great receiver in college, he hasn't made it to the pros yet, man. You're talking about the freak of the freaks. Any football, college or pro athlete, that's especially D1, you're a freak anyway. Now you're going to the freak of the freaks. And he needs to stick. I think if he wants to be successful, if he doesn't want to be a bust, he needs to stick with one position. So
I like that.
That's my take.